But they were talking about what's old is new again, and that's common in everything: fashion, food, fat people. I put on a bunch of weight again. Yeah, it's delicious. Food? Have you tried it? Anybody here tried food? Some Papa Do's last night.
Food is always good.
Oh, that was expensive, but they brought me a plate full of fish, the size of the table. And then for some reason, our waiter gave me a free calamari because he knew I was fat. And he had a feeling I could tip well. And I'm still eating it. I had it for breakfast. I've been eating it for 24 hours, man. It's so good. Anyway, back in the day, 2D games was all there was, right? Because we didn't have the programming power to make 3D. We didn't have the computer power to make 3D games. And then suddenly, we're starting to get 3D games circa in 64. And then that's all they made. Nintendo was especially guilty of this, right? Because that's just what video games are now. Video games are 3D. And some of the games that came out of that era, absolutely fantastic. I have an opinion that will get me canceled.
Okay. Cancel is good.
But, it's the third time today. Don't worry about it. I'm used to it. If I don't get canceled by breakfast, I figure I'm not famous enough anymore to stop. Okay. I didn't like any of the 3D Metroid games. I'm sure there's fans in here if you liked, right? Like, to me, Metroid is a 2D platformer, not a multiplayer game, not a 3D game. It is a 2D platformer. And so we finally have gotten to where the companies have realized, either the people in this room that love this stuff for nostalgic reasons, or just because it's a different type of game to play and different is good, we're finally getting 2D games again. And I'm so happy about it. Odyssey is amazing. But make me a good 2D Mario game. And I know there's the opinion that a 2D Mario game is boring. It's all been done again. It's already been done, right? But where's the 2D Galaxy with crazy galaxy mechanics, right? Because Angry Birds has gravity version, right? So you can make a gravity version of a 2D game. We know that exists, right? You could put double jumping in it, and because Celeste exists, right? And we could do more collectibles, and we can go back into areas and hunt down collectibles because Celeste does that, right? And what if we do a Link to the Past thing, so we're revisiting levels in secondary versions. We did that in Yoshi's Woolly World, except it sucked, right? But we could do that in a Mario game. But there's so much they haven't done with Mario. But what do? They take the Wii U title, which is exactly the same thing we've been playing for 20 years, and do not innovate and do not do anything different with it. Don't get me wrong, I love Mario Maker. But where's the creativity? I mean, Nintendo, you're the one who's supposed to be creative, not us. Okay? We're idiots. No offense, but let's admit it, we're probably not as good as Miyamoto, right? Probably just not as good as he is. Probably not as good at making fighting games as Sakurai, right? I mean, maybe you look like you're really good at it, but still. Wow, am I rambling today? All right, how much time do we have?
A lot.
Okay, cool. All right, it's been 20 minutes. So we can do some questions, and then I will just go off on crazy tangents as we answer questions. But I will go ahead and warn you, if your question is bad, you know I will shoot you. I'm not afraid to murder somebody. Hi, in the back. What's up, Jurassic Park?
Hi, Steven Spielberg, Best Director.
Oh, excellent. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I got a question. I think someone wanted to see my Oscar. There you go.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah. Do me a favor. Can you tell George Lucas if he gets to make a new Star Wars film, I'd like to play Java? Thank you.
I'll definitely let him know. Now, I have a question. You mentioned about the Metroid games. Now, I agree with you. The Metroid 2D games are a lot better than the... Well, I never was a big fan of the other M. I do like the Prime...
It's just weird, right?
Yeah, it was weird.
The storyline was weird. And, as somebody who struggled with anxiety and PTSD his whole life, hey, man, maybe that's not how we handle it in a video game. But, yes, go ahead.
And when I heard that Team Ninja was developing, I was like, hey, I know that because of Ninja Gaiden, bouncy physics. I'm like, hey, I don't mind seeing Samus being a bit bouncy, but I was like, oh, where's the bounciness to it? So
I'm all about the jiggle.
Yeah.
I mean, I jiggle in real life. I know it's realistic physics.
Yeah, I'm a big boob supporter, so.
Really? So you're a bra? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
You're a big boob supporter.
Big boob supporter, eh? Gotta love them big.
Do you support the small boobs too?
You know, it's just, yeah, you know, it all depends on that Crystal Skull vodka, you know, that's why I did.
Mr. Spielberg, you're very different in real life than I was expecting.
Now, about the, well, you know, like you said, some games are better off in 2D as opposed to 3D. What's your thoughts about the Castlevania series? Do you think the 3D platforms are...
You're going to hate me when I tell you this. I've never played a 3D Castlevania.
Wow.
I've only played the 2D Castlevanias. In fact, I just bought on sale on the Switch the Castlevania Advanced Collection and the Castlevania Collection. And I just replayed through all of those. Because again, I do love emulations. If you sell it to me, I'll buy it. I have money. Thank you for the money that you guys have given me over the years for watching videos. I'm going to spend it on Nintendo games. That said, I've seen a lot of 3D Castlevanias played, and I know that they did really innovative stuff with it. And when you're playing with a whip, like 3D, oh, that's going to be good every time, right? I still like the Super Nintendo whip physics. Like, that was great, like holding down the button, like swinging it around. I still have fun doing that to this day. But I feel like there's room for both 2D and 3D Castlevanias. I would just like to have any Castlevania. Can I have any of them? Make one. Please make one. Why aren't you making them? Who's the company that made a Castlevania-like game, and they made 2 of them? Do you remember the one I'm talking about?
Knight, what's it called? Bloodstain?
Yeah, that's the one. What's it called again? Oh, Hollow Knight. Oh. So that's more of a Metroidvania. But the one I'm thinking was literally just Castlevania.
Bloodstain. Yeah, Bloodstain.
Yeah, there you go, Rich. Bloodstain. So good. Oh, make more of that. Why is Nintendo not doing that? Why did Nintendo do what they did with Super Mario 2? Buy that game from those people, skin it as a Castlevania game, and then sell it that. Because I would have paid $60 instead of $20 for that game. Yeah. I would have, Nintendo.
Unfortunately, it's Konami, so they're sitting on that one.
Konami. Yeah, Konami.
I keep forgetting, because Castlevania is so synonymous with Nintendo in my mind. Also, fuck Konami. I don't know, but fuck everything about that company. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, I'm not an apologist for Mr. Death Stranding there, because I hated that game.
Wow, that's deep.
That's deep. I got to meet that guy once, and he was so kind to everyone in the room. He was fantastic. And Norman Reedus was there, and he was on the other side of the room, and I was too afraid to talk to Norman Reedus, because I've seen that dude kill zombies. So, like, that was weird. But I got a picture with the, what's his name?
Hideo Kojima?
Yeah, I got a picture with him, and he was like super kind to us and super nice. And I don't like his games, man. I mean, I like Metal Gear, they're good. But Death Stranding is the worst thing I've ever played. Who's played through Death Stranding? What is wrong with you?
Hey, it was like I said, you know, all the movies that are done. Do you not like the what is it called? BFG or Ready Player One? Wasn't that, you know?
I mean, okay, look, if I had to build Ready Player One piece by piece, if it was as boring as Death Stranding, I would have done it. But can I talk about Ready Player One?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I'm so mad at that movie. How long has it been out? 5 years? Okay, so I'm going to spoil a 5-year-old movie for you. If you have, how long?
3.
3 years. I'm going to spoil a 3-year-old movie for you. If you haven't seen it yet, you probably didn't want to. Okay? I'm so mad about this movie. So in this movie, you have to find these keys, Mr. Spielberg, right? They're keys?
Yeah.
And the first key is hidden on a racetrack. Okay? And everybody tries to race the track in a way to unlock the key. And they end up having years to try. And in those years, people try everything. They try driving their car into King Kong. They try driving their car into a T-Rex's mouth. They try. The one thing they didn't try was driving backwards on the track, and that was the answer. There is not a person in this room that wouldn't have done that in the first 10 seconds. That's the first thing all of us would have tried. And that's not even in the book. That's not even in the book. Spielberg, you wrote that, and you put that in your movie, and it doesn't make sense, and you never played a video game, Mr. Spielberg.
It was the Crystal Head vodka. It was delicious. You never had the vodka?
No, I'm just saying. Everyone was, there was 4-year-olds in that audience who were watching that who only ever played Fortnite. It's the only game they've ever played. They just watched Ninja on Twitch They suck on their pacifier and they play Fortnite. And they're like, I don't even know what a racing game is, but I would have driven backwards. Like, that's the first thing I would have done. Right. And like in a day, not years.
Kids,
so mad.
Some kids are slow, you know.
And that ruined the whole movie for me. Also, in the book, and this is for me, this is me talking. In the book, the love interest is a heavy girl, and you made her skinny, Mr. Spielberg, and that made me upset because we need more plus-size women in media. Not necessarily in my bedroom. I've had my share. But in media, I would like it if she stayed fat. So anyway, the point that I'm making is you better be glad that you made Jurassic Park.
Thank you.
$1
billion.
Other mistakes.
Yeah. Now, I have another question. Well, not really a question, but I do have a suggestion. I am planning on working on the second one, and you did mention that the girl was a plus size. So yeah, so
you going to chunk up for the second one?
Well, I was thinking about you being the girl. You know, just put on the wig and you got the chi-chi. So all you got to do is put the wig on, and you're good to go.
I will do that for you.
All right.
Mr. Spielberg.
There you go.
Ready for my close-up? Where's the casting couch?
Oh.
I'm getting thirsty, Mr. Spielberg.
Oh, don't worry. I'll take you, a little touching like E.T. Go home.
This is the weirdest panel I've ever been to. This is the weirdest panel I've ever been to, and I literally watched Wood wrestle Billy shirtless at one.
I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, that was good. Did you mention that to Wood?
Yeah, he said, moving on.
Falcon that you could open up and put your figures inside of. He had an original first edition die-cast metal Optimus Prime.
Wow.
And do you know what we did to that Optimus Prime?
No, not like in the movie.
We wanted to recreate the cartoons.
Oh!
And he owned a bunch of firecrackers. So we put an M80 in the driver's seat and watched it go boom.
Oh,
man. And that would now pay for his kids' college tuition. And every once in a while, my friend Dustin Mayer, hi Dustin if you're watching, every once in a while on Facebook, I message him like, hey, you remember that Optimus Prime we blew up? Like, don't remind me, my kids would love to play with that. I'm like, bitch, I would love to play with that. Why did we blow that up? But I think that was probably the rarest thing I ever held was a first edition die-cast metal Optimus Prime, and I would kill to have it. But at the same time, though, have you seen what they've been doing with the toys lately? With there is like a $500
yes, transformable
Optimus Prime that transforms by itself, which was part of the fun growing up was having to figure out how to do that. But it literally it sways while it's standing. And I haven't bought it yet. I want to so bad. So if anybody in the room has $500,
go fund me.
All right, any more questions? I think you have one in here, orange shirt. What's up?
Why didn't they bring you Fango?
Why didn't they do what?
Bring you Fango.
Well, okay, what they did do is I brought Mount Dew to the room, okay? And if they brought me Fago, they know that someone's getting shot today. Okay? You think it was Boogie to pull that trigger? Okay? Fuck that fat pussy. He was back there cowering. Someone's at my front door. Fuck you. And also, fuck you. Why didn't you bring me Mountain Dew? What I'm fucking drinking up here.
It's water.
So, okay, now after talking about how I don't like to complain anymore, I want to complain about YouTube for a little bit. So who was here for Woods' panel? Anybody? Okay. So shit's bad when Woods complaining about views. Am I wrong? Something's wrong. Something's wrong with YouTube. Okay? And he's right. You know what that something wrong is TikTok. Who's on TikTok? Who's watching TikToks every day?
Here and there.
If you're not, I'm telling you, you probably should, because whatever you're into, it's on TikTok now.
Why aren't you
if you want to watch gaming stuff, there's gaming stuff. But let's imagine I was doing gaming news on TikTok. I don't. I mostly just show my tits. But let's imagine I was doing gaming news on TikTok. It would sound something like this. Today, Metroid Dread has been released. The current Metascore review is 88, and people are really enjoying the game. I haven't played it yet myself, but I'm hoping to play it soon. I'll keep you informed of how it goes. That's it. That's it. Simple as that. Now if I make a YouTube video, what's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, Boogie2988 coming at you live. Let's get to the power of the internet. Don't forget, if you enjoy this video, hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out that notification bell if you're already subscribed. And if you want to, check out my Patreon down in the links below. Now, Metroid Dread is the first 2D Metroid game since 1994, unless you count that in, which I don't. But let's go into the history of Metroid for the next 9 minutes. Watching a YouTube video now is like renting a movie, man. And that's fine if you've got a full day, but I don't, man. Sometimes I'm stopped at a red light and I just want to watch a 10-second video of a girl getting her business, right? Sometimes I just want to watch somebody tell me what's going on in the world. Sometimes I just want to get mad at Pokey Princess. I don't know if you're not familiar with that drama. It's so good. It's so good. And I don't want to spend 30 minutes doing it. And I love some of the content creators that are here, but we all have the same issue, which is we have to design for the platforms that we're on. And when I'm designing on YouTube, I have to design for 8 to 10 minutes minimum. And if I'm designing for TikTok, I'm designing for 7 to 14 seconds. And the amount of creativity that people come up with in 7 to 14 seconds. Now, don't get me wrong. It sounds like you're only going to be looking at TikTok for 7 to 14 seconds. And that's not what I'm saying. Okay, you're going to sit down on the toilet. You're going to open up TikTok. And you're going to be there until your legs are numb. Okay? But you're not going to have to stare at the same asshole promoting his Patreon and whatever shitty earbuds are fashionable this week. Okay?
That's true.
Do not buy Raycons. They have offered to sponsor me. They are terrible. They're so bad. You have what's up, man? You got Ray?
My AirPods Pros are million times better than the Raycons.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man. Gee, I still think just wired are better than Raycons. They're all based. Anyway, the point that I'm making is, Raycon, please sponsor me. I like money. I want to get sponsored by Tesla, if I'm being honest. But all right, any more questions? Who's got a question?
Oh gosh,
Anybody? Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, so since you play Metroid, do you feel the music adds the atmosphere, or do you think it's not good?
Yeah, so in preparation, in preparation for Metroid Dread, I went back to play the original Metroid, which was really hard to get into, man, because I couldn't remember where shit was, and that meant I was checking guides. So what I did instead is I sorted magic cards while watching somebody who doesn't talk during his videos play through Metroid. And I can absolutely say that in the first game, the music makes the game. And then second Metroid, Super Metroid, oh my god, the music in that is so good. Like, again, at that point, I was just sorting magic cards. So I'm just going to watch him play through Super Metroid. But I did get back into it and have played through it since. So good. The music for that game was fantastic. Now, Metroid Dread, I would say the music is very good, but I would say it's using sound effects more than soundtrack to really heighten things. Which is kind of weird because when you look back at the original Metroid, the ding, 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 that's not really music, it's more of a sound effect, I would imagine. But like when the enemies are chasing you, the sound work is so good. And I feel like people don't give enough credit to sound work. I have friends who have $2,000 PC rigs. And dude, they don't have speakers, they don't have headphones, they just don't listen to their games. What, are you deaf? What is happening? I do have headphones, but I don't ever put them on. I just play the game. Why do you not want to hear what your game sounds like? Did I have like a stereo system 5.1 hooked up to my television so I can hear every game well? But anyway, yeah, I think Metroid Dread doesn't do as good of a job as Super Metroid in the limited amount of experience I have with it yet, but it is still really, really good. What's your opinion? What do you think about it? The guy asked what do you think?
It doesn't really do much for me because in preparation, I actually made a Spotify playlist for Metroid Dread, to get that, sci-fi horror feeling. It's actually a mix of various artists, if you've heard of, I'm sure you've heard of Tangerine Dream, Schultz, and the soundtrack to the movie Stalker by, what was the director's name? He also did Solaris.
I will say, I have found through YouTube and elsewhere, there are some people that do like some incredible Nintendo remixes. And I'm like, man, thank you for repackaging my childhood in a new and interesting way. It makes me so happy. And it's so frustrating because, again, I love you, Nintendo. God, I love you. I love you so much. I love you more than I love life. Okay?
Oh, wow.
That said, they're being really lazy about how they repackage my childhood to me. Again, some of the games for the Switch have been fantastic. So happy with Odyssey. So happy with Metroid Dread. So happy with some of the games. But at the same time, I do feel like they're lacking the innovation and creativity that made Nintendo great to begin with. And instead, they kind of just go back and do what we already know they're going to do. And here's the thing, we're going to buy it, right? I'm going to buy it. I've already pre-ordered all of it. I'm a piece of shit. I know what I am, and I'm okay with it. I'm comfortable with it. But at the same time, I wish they would put more effort into it. Not for the sake of, well, we'll make more sales, not for the sake of, but for the sake of it that you're Nintendo, and you're the company that made this happen. You're the company that saved the gaming industry, and why not be that company now? I mean, the Switch is innovative and brilliant and wonderful, and I love it, because my favorite game to play in the world for the last 3 years has been Slay the Spire, and I was playing Slay the Spire in a hotel room, and then, you know, I'll get home and I'll put it on the dock and be playing the same damn game. It's innovative, it's brilliant, it's interesting. The first generation is really easy to hack and put your emulated games on. But the innovation shouldn't stop there. It should continue into the games. It should continue into, the music should at least be as good as the last game, right? That makes sense. The music should sound as good. The pixel art should look as good. I saw somebody on, this is something else that really upset me. I saw somebody take a screenshot of the first boss fight of Metroid Dread, which is a teaching one, right? It's teaching you the twitch physics that you need to get. If you haven't got the control scheme down yet, you have to change from weapon to this to that several times. You're going to have to learn the control scheme. And the boss isn't that particularly hard. It's not that particularly flashy either, right? They didn't put a lot of effort into it because you're just supposed to mow through them if you know what you're doing. And if not, you're supposed to learn from them.
The game I ever played.
Do it?
It was hard for me since it's the first Metroid game.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, the control scheme is a nightmare. So it takes a lot of getting used to. It's tough for most of us. But then they showed a clip of that, and then they showed a clip of God of War, where you're fighting one of the in-the-game bosses, and he's like a giant dragon that's like perched on a mountaintop, and just like he leans in and bites at you, and like it's God of War. If you haven't played God of War, the newest one, oh my God, you're missing out. It's incredible, right? But they're like, $60 Nintendo game. $60 Sony game. Sony is better. I am an aristocrat. And it upsets me so much, in part because he's being an asshole, right? Let me like what I like. Shut up. I also like God of War. I also like Metroid Dread. Let me just like what I like, man. But secondly, also, he's a little bit right. And it upsets me because the bosses could look a bit better, Metroid, and they are both $60 titles, and those resources are there. And Nintendo has so much money that they'll be making video games 20 years after the post-apocalypse, okay? Like, they have all the money. That company literally doesn't care. If there's a recession, they're like, oh, we'll make money. It doesn't matter. So they can afford to do a little bit better. So there are Metroid Dread, not the perfect game, but damn, is it good. You got a question? What's up?
Yeah, well, I think around like 2016, I kind of got tired of AAA games in general, and I kind of went down the path where I started to play most of the stuff. And I came back to the AAA stuff like Fortnite and League and all that crap. And I just went back to the indie stuff, and there's just nothing that really like excites me anymore than like Ori or Celeste or Hollow Knight and just games like that. So, is there? I just feel like there's like such a huge quality disparity between like AAA and indie.
No, that's true.
It feels like there's so much more going into the games.
So I take it, are you a little bit younger? You only guess 25?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there's this automatic, like, built-in thing for me as a 47-year-old man that I I played Pac-Man and was blown away by it, right? I played the original Legend of Zelda and I'm like, oh my God, I can go wherever the hell I want. This game is insane, right? And so I tend to have a very low bar about the graphics and the looks of the game, or the sound of the game, because I was so used to playing. I played Atari games, man. I played Atari 2600 games and liked them, okay? I'm an idiot. So when I play a game like God of War, obviously I'm like, wow, this is gorgeous and beautiful and amazing, and I love every second of it. But then when I pick up Celeste, I'm like, wow, this is gorgeous and amazing, and I love every second of it. I don't know how it feels to grow up in a world where games were always beautiful, and now they're reaching a peak of how beautiful they can possibly look, right? Like, there's only so much computing power in the world until we figure out quantum computing, right? There's only so many millions of dollars these companies can spend to make the games look perfect. So there's that finite amount. And then an indie company, let's say Ed, the guy who makes Binding of Isaac, right? I mean, I love Ed. Binding of Isaac is stylish and atmospheric and wonderful. Looks like shit, though. No, it looks like shit. I'm sorry, Ed. It's beautiful. I love it. I love everything about it. It's kind of grainy and kind of old looking. It's a 10-year-old game now. It kind of makes sense. But to me, it just looks like Zelda. Oh, it just kind of looks like Zelda to me. That's fine. So I don't know, man. That's kind of... I think if I were you, what I would do is I would hop around from as many indie games as I can until I found one that spoke to me. It really got me, right? And try avoiding AAA games for a little while. Try avoiding like the really like the high-end stuff that gives you 60 hours of gameplay and gives you all of this other crazy stuff. Maybe go play some Flash games. Do those still exist? Download some shitty phone games, right? And like reset your quality filter. And then of course when you go back to the AAA games, they'll be that much better. So here's a good tangent. Here's something I learned in therapy. Yay, therapy. Who's in therapy? Woo! Everyone who's not, you should be. The world's a living nightmare. If you're living through the apocalypse, you should probably talk to a therapist. That said, here's something I learned in therapy. The brain has the dopamine reset every day. One of the reasons I struggled with my weight issues so much is because there's so much food readily available that I'm able to constantly dope myself and give myself that reward, that brain reward that says, oh, I got to eat my food today, I got to eat my food today. The food's never amazing anymore. It's just good. But it's good enough to keep me coming back every day. But if I can take 3 or 4 days off from the thing I really like, doesn't matter what it is, pleasuring ourselves with food or just pleasuring ourselves, you know what I'm talking about.
At the same time?
November's coming up. Participate, you know what I'm saying. I don't have to say it. But if you reset that brain, shit's amazing again. Now it goes into practicing gratitude the other day as well. So here's a good therapy story. I'm talking to my therapist about practicing gratitude, and she's like, let's start off really easy. When you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling sad, I want you to pick 3 things you're grateful for and think about it. And that'll help you reset the brain. And I'm like, okay. So like 8 minutes later, I'm mad because I just paid my therapist and I'm pissed about it. Because why does that cost money? That should be a service we're providing for people, but whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. YouTube, amazing. So grateful for it. Changed my life. My dog, Sammy. I love my dog, Sammy. My best friend, Chad. Oh, thank God for these 3 things. Oh, that's kind of great. That's great. Oh, I get to go home and get to see Sammy. Oh, me and Chad will eat dinner together later. Oh, I could go work on YouTube later today, too. Maybe I'll stream on Twitch. It'll be great. Okay. All right, I feel a little bit better. But then eventually I became kind of numb to that exercise. So she told me, let's keep going down the list. Instead of doing the same 3 things, let's find more things you're grateful for. And I'm like, bitch, I get anxious so many times in a day. By the time I'm done, I'm going to be grateful for oxygen. And she's like, yeah, oxygen's pretty great. Imagine if there was no oxygen, man. And I'm like, oh, shit, she's not wrong. So later that night, you know, I've been anxious like 14 times. I had to drive there. I had to drive back. They were out of Krispy Kreme chocolate-filled donuts. It was a bad day. And I'm like, running water. Man, I'm grateful for running water. Water comes right in my home and it's clean.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's cheap too. It's like 11 cents a gallon. Damn, I get to take a bath every day in a jacuzzi tub. Man, what would happen if running water was gone? Wait, really? What would happen if there was no more running water? I don't mean just at your house, which is inconvenient because you can't wash your clothes, you can't take a bath, you can't cook your food, you can't take a shower, you can't water your lawn. There's so many things you can't do. But let's imagine that goes away for the entire city you live in. Oh my God, you can't go to a soda fountain because there's no water there. You have to go to a well to get your water. You have to go to a spring to get your water. You have to tote it home. You have to boil it. Now that's your drinking water. Now you got to go back to the well and you got to get water to bathe in. Now you got to get water to do this. You shit in a bucket, man. Our forefathers, George Washington, shit in a bucket, guys. Okay? And then he had to bury, I mean, he probably did, and the slave probably did. But hey, our forefathers sucked. But he shit in the bucket, and then he had to bury it in his backyard. Mm-hmm. That would be our lives if we didn't have running water. How are we not grateful for running water?
Woo, for
That's
water.
Something we take for granted every day. And that, through therapy, got my brain to reset. So for the longest time, I was mad about not doing this good on YouTube, not this many people watching my videos. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, dude, I can literally upload my vacation videos and 10,000 people watch it. I can literally upload this panel and 10,000 people watch it. I could fart in a cup and then drink my own fart and 10,000 people watch it. There are people that would kill their own child to get 10,000 people to watch something they did. So the point that I'm making is, you always have a good choice of video games. And you can choose the AAA games that you want to play. But there are some really great indie games out there, and I think if you find the right one, and you're like, man, the gameplay here is actually pretty good, or whatever it is that you like about it, I think it'll provide a very solid reset for the brain, and you'll learn to love gaming as a whole. Because there was a period of time when I was a kid when I would rent a game at a Blockbuster or a local place. Anybody remember the rental days? You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So it's Friday night. And I begged, Mom, I want to rent a game. Mom, I want to rent a game. Please let me rent a game. Okay, well, stop by and we'll get a game. And I'm picking out a game, and I don't know, I picked up Ninja Gaiden.
Oh.
Which is hard, man. And it sucks. Maybe I got Simon's Quest. Oh, and I took it home. And it's Friday. And we're not going back into town till Monday. I've got this game for 3 days, and this is the only game I got to play is Simon's fucking Quest. I'm going to have to call that 900 number to figure out
oh my God.
There's no other way to do it. Mm-hmm. The clues in this game don't make any sense. I don't have a guide. There is no internet yet.
No.
So I have a choice. I can either not play that game, spend my entire weekend bored, or I'm just going to plow through this shitty game because it's the only game I get to play. And that's life, by the way. I really want you to understand that, because we're getting down to the end of the panel here. We got about 10 minutes left. So I will hold you at knife point for this one too.
Oh wow!
I'll hold you.
Twist and turn.
5 minutes. Okay, I got 5 minutes. So here's my closure. Okay. Some people's lives are Super Mario Odyssey. They're great. They're fun. They're happy. You got the Kardashians, you got Kanye, where they get to be as happy and as stupid as they want to be. Kanye has said more stupid shit just today than I said my entire career. I mean, he's gotten away with it. He makes millions doing it. He's got an easy life. He's got a good game. Some of us, not so much. Some of us have to play Simon's Quest. Okay? But, just like renting that game when I was a kid, you're going to beat the game anyway. Right? Even if your life isn't the best, even if it isn't the life that you want, even if you look at Kim Kardashian and you say, I want that Brazilian butt lift, I want those boobs, I want to make a sex tape and get become a billionaire by doing it. You don't get to do that. That's not your game, and that's okay. You're playing this game, the game you're playing right now, and by God, you're pretty good at it. And by God, you're going to beat it. I know you are, okay? You're going to get the fucking high score. If some of us get life on easy mode. Some of us get life on hard mode. And if you're out there listening right now and your life is on hard mode, beat the fucking game anyway. Okay? Promise me you will. It's the only game you get. This is it. This is it. This is the one. I spent so many years feeling sorry for myself. Oh, I can't believe I had to fucking play Simon's Quest. Oh, god damn it, this game's hard. Where the fuck's this whirlwind spot? And now I'm just playing it. It's fun. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to beat the werewolves up at night. It's kind of fun to collect the hearts. It's kind of fun to find the others. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. So, please have fun. All right, one more question. I don't know if you want to down or no. Give us something good. Give us something happy.
Did you see Concerned Ape's new game announcement? The guy that made Stardew Valley? He announced his next game.
So I heard about this through Wood's panel. Chocolate Ghosts?
Haunted Chocolatier.
What?
Chocolate
What?
Ghost.
It looked like...
What? You want to talk about somebody who's playing something on hard mode? This dude woke up one day, made Stardew Valley, and then said to himself, well, I can make any game I want now. I guess it'll be a haunted chocolatier. Because he knows that the challenge, that's the fun part. He knows that trying to get people, because that's weird. But because it's so weird, I immediately want to play it. Am I wrong?
Did you ever play Recettear?
Yes.
I never played it, but I know how it works. To me, it looks like Stardew Valley meets Narnia meets Recettear.
Right, so, and also Moonlighter is excellent in that genre. The whole go in, dungeon fight, collect it, then sell it thing is so good. And every time they make one of those games, I buy it, I play it, and I'm disappointed because it's not exactly the way I want it to be, but they're always so good. And hopefully, this will be it. Hopefully, it'll be the one. I hope that he gets it right. God knows I played too much Stardew Valley. I think we all have. I bought it 3 times on 3 different systems. I have it on PC, on Switch, and have it on mobile. I never played it on mobile. Why is it even on mobile? Those kids like Fortnite. They don't want to play Stardew Valley. All right, guys, can I say thank you for coming to my panel? I appreciate you guys. Thank you for still putting up with my shit all these years later. I know that in the last couple of years especially, when it comes to my YouTube videos, when it comes to my Twitch streaming, I've really kind of taken a break. I've really not been putting the effort in. And you guys have been watching anyway, and boy, it's a miracle. I'm so grateful for you. That said, I'm finally trying again. If you haven't watched one of my videos in a while, I've actually tried editing. I've actually tried scripting. I've actually got some ideas. This is actually what this is for, is I'm making a Halloween video, so I'm going to go kill 8-Bit Eric in a little while. And I might film it, but I also just looking forward to killing him. But hopefully, if you haven't, tell your friends to check out the channel again soon. Hopefully, we got this legal trouble that I'm dealing with. I can't say too much right now, but we've got what I feel is a pretty good deal on the table. So we're going to be wrapping that up finally and getting that out of the way. And I'm looking forward to the next chapter of this shitty game we call life. Look forward to playing with you.
I love you very much.
Well, since Desi's taken over, I just got to say,